Welcome to this explainer. Today, we are unpacking a psychological model that is genuinely going to completely change how you view everyday interactions. We're talking about Dr. Shungu Magadza's 6 Stages framework. Now, if you've ever walked away from a chat feeling, just a bit unsettled, but you couldn't quite put your finger on exactly why, well, you are absolutely in the right place. We're going to decode the hidden dynamics of human behavior today, starting with a frustratingly common zone known as stage -1.
So we've all been there, right? Have you ever walked away from a conversation thinking, man, something just didn't feel right, but I really can't explain why? Maybe you were subtly dismissed in a team meeting, or maybe you hit a total wall during one of those stereotypically awkward family Thanksgiving dinners, and you caught yourself thinking, wait, am I overreacting here? It's a completely universal frustration. You haven't had a massive, blowing up style argument, but you definitely haven't been heard either. Chances are, you just stumbled headfirst into stage -1. Okay, let's dive into this. But before we get too deep, we need to set a crucial ground rule. As Dr. Magadza emphasizes here, this entire framework is not about labeling people as good or bad. We absolutely aren't throwing anyone into neat little boxes today. It's entirely about understanding behavior. By isolating the behavior itself, we create a sense of psychological safety. We shift away from attacking individuals, and instead, we decipher their reactions. And that is what allows us to respond with real, genuine empathy.
All right, moving to Section 1, Meeting Stage -1, the resistant and defensive stage.
So what exactly is stage -1? Well, it's a state where a person isn't completely closed off to the world, but they are actively protecting something. It might be their identity, their deeply held beliefs, or honestly, just their comfort zone. When a difference shows up, like a difference in race, gender, or just a totally different lived experience, someone at stage -1 reacts to that difference as if it's a threat, rather than an opportunity to learn. It's like their shields are completely up.
How do you actually spot this in the wild? You have to listen for these incredibly subtle conversational red flags. It's that colleague who brushes you off with, I think you're overthinking that. Or maybe they quickly pivot and say, yeah, but what about? Or maybe you raise a genuine concern and they hit you with, hey, let's not make this a big deal. That right there, that is stage -1 in action. It very often masquerades as politeness, but its true function is just to dismiss whatever is threatening their comfort zone.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the why behind it all. It is so incredibly easy to just be angry at the person dismissing you. But beneath the surface, stage -1 is almost always driven by fear. Literally, fear. The fear of getting it wrong and looking foolish, the fear of being judged, the fear of losing their status, or sometimes simply a total lack of exposure to difference. When we finally realize that fear is what's driving this resistance, our whole narrative shifts from sheer frustration to empathy. They are putting up a wall because deep down they feel vulnerable.
Section 2, the ripple effect, looking at the individual and systemic costs of stage -1.
This kind of defensive behavior takes a massive, two-sided toll. On a personal level, you, meaning the person on the receiving end, you just feel drained, silenced, and frustrated. You're constantly questioning your own sanity. But systemically, think about our workplaces, our schools, the impact is downright corrosive. Difficult conversations just get entirely avoided. Bias goes totally unchallenged. And over time, people just learn that speaking up simply isn't worth the exhaustion. It kills psychological safety.
Let's move on to Section 3, the toolkit. How we can actually respond constructively.
Look, when we get dismissed, our absolute first instinct is usually to fight back. We want to call people out aggressively, shame them, or treat the whole conversation like a debate that we just have to win. But here is the reality of the situation. Shaming someone who is already operating from a place of fear, it is only going to push them further into their shell. It doesn't work. What actually helps is staying grounded, keeping a genuine sense of curiosity, and focusing strictly on the impact of their words rather than their intent.
Let's break that down into a super simple 3-step response protocol. Step 1, stay grounded. Literally take a deep breath and internally recognize, okay, this is a stage -1 reaction. That gives you immediate emotional distance. Step 2, stay curious. Instead of attacking back, ask yourself why they might be feeling threatened right now. And step 3, name the impact, not the intent. Do not argue about what they meant to do. Instead, just calmly state how their words actually landed with you.
I want you to memorize this. Here is your script for the real world. I hear what you're saying, but can I share how that landed for me? It's brilliant. Notice how it completely validates that they've spoken without actually agreeing with them, and then smoothly pivots to the impact on you. It creates space without triggering any of their defense mechanisms. Why? because you aren't attacking them. You're simply sharing your own experience. It's a real game changer. As we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with a provocative thought. The very next time you leave a conversation feeling unsettled or dismissed, just pause for a second and ask yourself 2 questions. First, what stage did I just meet? Was it the resistant, protective fear of stage -1? And second, what stage did I respond from? Did I respond with equal defensiveness, or did I manage to respond with grounded curiosity? Ultimately, having awareness of our own behavior is the absolute first step toward any meaningful change. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep asking those great questions.